Hello friends, this is your friend Professor Iqbal here. Once again, I welcome all of you to my YouTube channel, My Grammar Classes. In this episode of lecture, we will particularly discuss figures of speech. Okay, now figures of speech are used in poetry in order to achieve artistic effect and to give aesthetic pleasure to the readers. Okay, the poets, they have poetic license, and poetic license is a permission for the poets to alter the arrangement of sentence. Okay, the word sequence can be altered. And now let us see which devices are there or which figures of speech are there. Now generally the most of time asked figure of speech is simile, metaphor and alliteration. Now we will see what is simile, we will see what is metaphor, we will see what is alliteration. Let us understand what is simile. A simile is a figure of speech where there will be comparison. A simile is a figure of speech where there will be comparison. Now, this comparison will be in those things or in those people where they do not share at least one common thing. Okay, it will be a comparison between distinctly two dissimilar things. Okay, distinctly two dissimilar things, and these comparison will be brought out, or this comparison will be expressed with the help of conjunctions like, as though, as if, as. Okay, this comparison will be brought out with the conjunctions like, as if, as though, as, so as, etc. Now let us take some example of simile. Now, I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats over high hills and mountains. I wandered lonely as a cloud. So there is a comparison between the poet and the cloud here in Wordsworth's poem. Okay, and both of them, they are lonely and they become one when they wander. Now next one, Robert Burns' example, my love is like red rose that is newly sprung in June. Now here Robert Burns compares his love to a red rose. He compares his love to a red nose. Now next example, she fought like cat. Now she fought like cat. So there is a comparison between her and cat, and this comparison is brought out here with the use of simile, and here conjunction that is used to bring out the comparison is like. So like this you can have many examples. Like this you can have many examples which can be particularly found in poetry. Okay, now let us go to the alliteration. What is alliteration? What is there in alliteration? Now if metaphor and simile, these are the devices of comparison, then what is alliteration? Alliteration is a sound device. Now what happens in alliteration? Okay, alliteration is a sound device and there is repetition of a same sound at equal intervals. Now what is the repetition of same sound? See, it is the repetition of consonant sounds in the beginning of words. So alliteration is nothing but the repetition of same sounds at equal intervals, and generally this repetition will be of consonant sounds. And alliteration, as it is a sound device, it can give you better expressions when you read it loudly. When you read it loudly, it has music, it has tune, it has rhythm. For example, the white foam flew, the fair breeze blew, and the furrow followed free. Surely, surely, slumber is more sweet than soil. Day after day, nor we breathe nor stuck. Tiger, tiger, burning bright, alone in the forest of the night. Full fathom five thy father lies. If you see here, there is repetition of same sound, same word. Now in the first example which we say, the fair breeze blew, the white foam flew, the furrow followed free. So here there is a repetition of b and f sound. Surely, surely, slumber is more sweet than soil. There is a repetition of sh sound here. Okay, tiger, tiger, burning bright, repetition of t and b. So we need to understand how this is used here. As I said you, as alliteration is a sound device, it can be particularly heard when it is read loud. When it is read loud, it will give that tune musicality when you read loud, and it will attract. You will get artistic effect when you read it loudly. Now let us go to the next device, that is called as metaphor. What is there in the metaphor? Metaphor is also a device of comparison. Now in simile, if A is like B, for example, in simile, what will be the concept? In simile, A is like B, but in metaphor, A is B. Let me explain you this with one example. He fought like a tiger. He fought like a tiger. He was the tiger in the battle. He was the tiger in the battle. Now here, he fought like a tiger is simile and he was the tiger in the battle. Now here, what happens? The first example is A is like B, and in the second example, A is B, that is explained. So he fought like a tiger is simile. He was the tiger in the battle. So this is an example of metaphor. So he is compared with the tiger. There is no doubt, but we have not used any conjunction in order to compare that. So A is like B. When one thing is like another thing, we use simile. But when one thing is another thing, when we say, it becomes a metaphor. It becomes metaphor. So we need to understand this metaphor. And one more example we will take. All men and women are players. All the men and women are players. When see, all the world is a stage. All the world is a stage and all the men and women are players. This is one example. So here, all the world is a stage. So here, all the world is compared to a stage, and all the men and women, they are compared to actors. This is how you can bring out metaphor. What is important in the metaphor? You need to understand, one thing is another thing. One thing is said as if it is another thing. What is important in simile? One thing is like another thing. So for that, once again, I'd like to bring in your attention, A is like B when it is said it is simile. A is B when it is said it is metaphor. This is something I really wanted you to convey as far as figure of speech is concerned. Okay, if you still have any doubt about simile, metaphor and alliteration, you can comment and you can make me a request to make a video on that particular device or figure of speech. Thank you very much everyone for watching this video. I hope this video will be helpful to you in order to understand what is simile, what is metaphor, what is alliteration. Have a good day ahead. Thank you.